Okay, you guys, this is the story of how I found out my husband of 6 months was having an affair and building a whole life with someone right behind my back and then eventually right in front of my face.
Hey, gorgeous people, how are you doing today? Sugar Maya David, and thank you all so much for tuning in today's video. So, this woman shared a story time of how her husband of 6 months, they just married for 6 months and they got divorced in 6 months. It's part one, part two, and part three, but she went straight to the point and it's quite interesting. Let me show you the story time, then I'll see you at the end of the video.
Okay, you guys, this is the story of how I found out my husband of 6 months was having an affair and building a whole life with someone right behind my back and then eventually right in front of my face. Me and my ex were together for about 5 years, then got engaged and married, and were married for 6 months. We started dating in 2018. We got our first dog in 2019. We started living together in probably 2020. Got our second dog and then bought our house in November of 2022, and he proposed our move-in date. Got married December 2023. And now we're here June 15th, 2024. 15th, 2024, woke up just like any old day. The sky was blue, the grass was green, and we were going to Nashville, Tennessee to go golfing with a couple friend that we have. When we get done with all of that, and me and my ex are heading home, of course he's drunk from golf, and just like any other wife, it's annoying. It's annoying to take care of your partner, your spouse, when they're hammered and all you want to do is just get home and rest and make dinner and go to sleep. We get home and he goes out to get us dinner and comes back, we're eating it, and he goes out back with the dogs. And I felt like he was out there for a really long time, and I just thought maybe they were outside playing, and I thought to myself, let me go out there and see what they're doing. I wanted to go play too. I go out there and he's on FaceTime, and as soon as I go outside, he immediately hangs up and gets off the phone. I ask, who was that? And he was like, someone named Rick, I think that's what he said, that we were playing golf with today. I'm like, you weren't playing golf with a Rick. Come on now. If you know, you know. I snatch his phone and I go into the number that he was FaceTiming, and they had started sharing locations. And I'm like, why are you and Rick sharing locations? He was like, so we could see where we were at the golf course. I'm like, well, his location is in Bowling Green and he lives in Nashville. So I just automatically knew something wasn't adding up. And so I decided to text the number off his phone and say, what's up? This person decides to send back a picture of her legs, and it said, same place you left us. I immediately called this number off his phone multiple times. She answered and she said that they were just best friends from high school and they were checking in, and I asked why she sent that picture. Long story short, the phone call was just talking about how there's nothing going on and they're just best friends from high school. I asked him what this is, and he said she's back in town and it just started today. And then I go back to his deleted messages, and they had already been texting for 2 weeks, and they actually went to Chewy's together. Whenever I thought he was going to a goodbye lunch for one of his coworkers that just got laid off, and he even got me food to go that day. So looking back, I'm like, you were on a date and you were getting your wife food to go, and this person knew it. Anyways, he even bought all the food off our joint credit card, so that's cool. Saw all those messages, and there were messages like, how's married life? And there was one message where she was FaceTiming him and he couldn't answer, and he goes, I can't answer, I'm still a husband sometimes, haha. And yeah, I went through all of those and probably woke up the entire neighborhood yelling and screaming. We just got married, I'm your wife, what are you doing? That night we go to bed, wake up the next day and it's Father's Day, and I'm just not in a place mentally to go in front of family or just be around anybody, so he goes there and I stay back. The next day is Monday, and he decides to wake up at 6 a.m. to go play 13 hours of golf. Around 6 p.m., I'm getting a call that I need to come pick him up. He's at a mutual friend's house. While I'm there, our mutual friend told me that he spilled the beans and got really drunk and said that the girl that he's been messaging and texting came to his parents' house for Father's Day. We get him in the car, I take us home, go inside, charge his phone. They had been texting all day. He was saying, I wish you were at the golf course. They were sending videos back to each other. I'm yelling, I'm screaming, I'm crying, but I'm so in denial. I'm like, there's no way our marriage is ending. There's no way he's leaving me for this little fling. The next day, I went to go drop him off at his car that was at our mutual friend's house, and he said that he needed to just have a day to himself. He told me he was going to his mom's house, and we have each other's locations. So when he was at his mom's house, I went to lunch with a friend. He calls me and he goes, "Hey, I see you're at so-and-so, like just making sure you're eating lunch, like you staying there for a while?" I'm like, "Yeah, we'll be here for a while." And she thought that was really suspicious. She was like, "We need to go to your mom's immediately." We go there. He's not there, but his phone is. His phone is there so his location matches that he's at his mom's. We wait in the driveway until he gets back, and we do. And I confront him, and then I head back home because I had to go back to work. He gets home a few hours later and says that he officially ended things with her, and it won't be happening again. Next day, I sign us up for marriage counseling with our pastor, but we couldn't get in until July 10th. At this point, it's probably June 20th. So moving forward, the rest of the month of June was awful. I was constantly checking his phone, constantly checking his deleted messages, constantly checking his location. During this time, he was cooking dinner, he was buying me flowers, he was doing things to make me believe that they had stopped what they were doing. Probably July 2nd at this point, and it's the morning of when we're supposed to leave to head to vacation with his family. His family's already there, so we were leaving that day after work. He was in the shower. This was around 7:30, and my gut was telling me just to check his phone. I hadn't checked it in a while. I was trying to trust him, and as soon as I checked it, there was a message from her, and it was obviously her responding to a ongoing conversation. He gets out of the shower, and I show him the messages. My heart's beating so fast, and at this point, he's confessing that he wants a divorce and he no longer wants this marriage. I call his mom crying, saying I won't be going to Florida. There's just no way I can go, and I pack my bags and head back home to my hometown while he's in Florida. Before he leaves for Florida, he goes to hang out with her for about 3 hours as I have his location, and he knew I could see what he was doing. So at this point, he didn't care to get caught. The morning that he's heading home from Florida and I'm heading back for my hometown, I noticed that he turns off his location. So I knew right then and there he wants to go see her when he gets back from Florida. So I call him begging and pleading for him to turn his location back on and to come and see me immediately. Thankfully he does, and he comes home, talk and sit on the couch for probably 2 hours figuring out what to do. Talked, we cried, we hugged, we made up, and we decided that we were going to make this work. Our marriage counseling session was just in a few days, and honestly I was just doing whatever it took to hold us together until marriage counseling. I'll finish the next part in part 2. Welcome to part 2 of how I found out my husband of 6 months was having an affair. So at this point, he had come back from Florida, and we decided that we were going to work on our marriage, and he was done talking to her for good this time. He told me that before he left for Florida, when he went to see her, she wrote him a love note and how much she loved him and how much she wanted to be with him. And when he told me that, I knew our marriage was over, because he has a very addictive personality. He gets extremely addicted and obsessed with something, and he doesn't stop until he gets it. But we said we were going to work on our marriage, so there was about 2 days till our first marriage counseling session. I met him at his work to bring him some lunch, and he told me that he was conducting interviews all day and may not be on his phone. And I was like, oh, good luck. And he was asking me for some tips on interview questions. And looking back, he was just telling me that so he can go see her and leave his phone at work. And if I called and he didn't answer, it's because he was doing interviews. But in that moment, I believed him. He comes home for work that day and told me that he wrote her a letter ending things and wanting to work on our marriage. I got into his phone so I could go to his photos and read the letter, and because he had typed it, printed it out, and took screenshots of it, and I read the letter, and it was probably a good 7-paragraph letter of him saying how much fun he's had, how much fun their dates have been, how he's going to miss her so much, and this has been the best time of his life, and then a little sentence of, but he needs to work it out with his wife. So that night I'm cooking us dinner. I went through his phone, and she had texted him and asked why he called her that morning. She said she's been sleeping all day and hasn't really been on her phone since she got the letter from him. And when I saw that, he had flipped a switch and said that he wants a divorce and he wants to be with her. And I'm like, our marriage counseling session's tomorrow. He's like, I'll go, but after that, I'm done. It's finally July 10th, our marriage counseling session. We go, and this is with our pastor. and our pastor is basically trying to knock some sense into him for 2 hours, and he was giving just really good wisdom and just doing everything he can to help. We leave that marriage counseling session and just hoping and praying that this session got through to him. At this point, I wanted to save our marriage more so due to my image. I was embarrassed and ashamed to be divorced just 6 months after our amazing wedding. So much love was poured into it. Didn't want to let go of our little family, our dogs, our brand new home. I was truly blind as to what was really going on in front of me. That's the best way to describe it. The next morning, everything seems fine. We wake up and go to work, and we are saying how much we love each other, and he is texting me all day saying that he wants to make this work again. Another flipped switch. And that our pastor's message really got to him, and he wants to see this through, but he just needs some space. He goes, I feel like we've done so much talking. I just want to hang out with my buddy tonight, and I need some space. He comes home from work that day to pack a little bag to go to his buddies. And at this point, we are still sharing locations. He comes home and says, if you dare track my location tonight, this is over. This is far from over. Don't you dare show up where I'm at like you did last time. I'm like, I'm not going to. I was being very calm. He's like, you know what? I'm going to turn off my location right now. I'm like, please don't. Like, I'm not going to come. I promise. I was keeping calm so I could see his location because I knew exactly where he was going. He shows up to his location, and it's her home, and I'm out to eat with friends, and I notice that he's there, and my heart all night is just broken. I come home, and he calls me while he's there to say goodnight. He was still putting on this act that he was there, and I was acting like I believed him. I slept in our home for the first night by myself since we moved in, and it was just a reality check that my life will never be the same, and that my husband is truly cheating on me right in front of my face and doesn't care.
Yeah.
So the next morning, it's a work day. He comes home and immediately sits down and says it's over. I tell him I knew where you were last night, and he admits he was there, and that he wants a life with her, and he's not going to any more counseling sessions, that he's going to text our counselor and end the sessions. My mom eventually comes down for about 3 days just to be there for me, but ultimately we decided it was best to just get out of the house and go back home and be with family and friends. I load up me and my dogs and go back home. He asked me when I was coming back to the house, and I told him I wasn't sure, and so he decided to have a little sleepover with her here and stay the night at our house. We have a Ring camera and a camera in the house, and the inside camera was covered with a blanket, and at this point there was nothing I can do, so I just let it happen. And I think I let it happen because I needed to see how far he's willing to go, so it can help me move on quicker in the end. Go to part 3 to hear about what happened during their sleepover. I finally come back home the next day after their sleepover, and I come in and notice that there are dog bowls here that aren't mine, that there's beer bottles everywhere. I turned the TV on, and they were playing a playlist called Over When It's Over that they made, and her jeans and socks are all over my bed. I check our bank account, and they spent $100 at our nearest Mexican restaurant that night as well on our joint credit card. I hadn't yet brought up to him I knew about the sleepover just because I was trying to navigate it in the best way possible. At this point, his clothes are all still here. Everything is still here. And it just felt... Days and weeks go by, and he'll randomly call me drunk, telling me that he's already brought her around his grandparents and how they love her so much. And apparently I was a BITCH, and she's already forming a great connection with his mother. And he's telling me they're going to Target together. And I'm just mortified because people are starting to see them out in public, and people were starting to text his mom, and just people around town were finding out, and I was just so mortified. Looking back, this was not a good decision on my end, but there were times where he would come back over and we would hang out and talk. My heart was just broken, and you know, us girls, we run back to what's hurting us. I just missed my husband. I couldn't believe what was happening, and I just wanted to feel loved by him. It's now the very end of July, and I get a phone call that my dad needs open heart surgery. I decided to call my ex, letting him know that your father-in-law needs open heart surgery and is in the hospital, and I'm going home immediately to be with my family and him at the hospital. Is there any way you could maybe watch the dogs or help out or just be there for me? He told me that he can't be there for me. He can't watch the dogs. He has a new girlfriend and a family to support, and he can no longer be involved with me and my life and my family. It was in that moment when I knew this was over. Whenever he told me he couldn't be there for me and his father-in-law and his family during this crazy time, I knew that my husband is long gone. He is giving his energy to another girl, and I can't sit back and watch this any longer. My dad has a successful open heart surgery, and I was at home for about a week or so. I finally come back, and one of my best friends comes here to help me pack up all his stuff and throw it on the front porch. He comes to get his stuff, and a few weeks later he comes to get his mower, and he finally files for divorce. Me and my family ultimately thought it was best if he filed because he's the one that wants out of his life. He needs to file, and it needs to be an agreed divorce. So we agreed on everything, thankfully. It was a very easy divorce. I had the most amazing lawyer. We signed papers in October, and I think it was finalized early November. I had been in counseling, my own counseling at this point since July, and me and my therapist made the decision for me to stay in the house that we bought and make it my own, and I could afford it, so that's what I've been doing, and I've made it mine, and I love it so much. It's in a really good location. It's perfect for me and the dogs, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. I've made so much growth even just being here, and the best part is when I do sell it, it all goes to me. Of course, my ex reached out a couple months later, calling me saying that he wishes he listened to our therapist and he wants to come see me and the dogs, take them for a walk. Obviously that never happened. To this day, they're still together, living in his mom's basement, and I'm just out here doing me. Looking back, I can't believe I survived. It took a lot to get where I am today, and I probably left out a bunch of details because there were a bunch of details that can't be shared, but that's the basis of the story. And I've leaned on God, I've leaned on family, I've leaned on friends. They've all helped me in a tremendous way, and am becoming the best version of myself. And I do hope to get married and have kids one day. And I know this divorce and my ex was a part of my journey and my story. It happened for a reason, and I get to help other girls going through similar situations. I know that moving forward, karma does its thing. I have my dogs. I bought a new car. I got a raise at work. You know, all things just started happening, all for the good. And I know that God comes through for me, and He has. And yeah. So that's the story. And I know this was somewhat long, but it deserves to be shared and deserves to be heard. And yeah, thanks for listening.
Stories like this, you will hear people saying, what did you do to him that made him go outside to meet another woman? You must have done something. You were not satisfying him enough. You were not being caring enough, or you were not being homely enough. That was why he went out to cheat on you. I know stories like this. People want to say something like that. And what did you do to him? What did you do to him? Because it was too short. And the thing is that a cheater will always be a cheater. In 6 months, she found out that he was cheating. We don't know how long they've been speaking. And the thing is, the girl knows that he's married. And I used to say it, if you think like you want to date a married man as a girl, you know that you're dating a married man, thinking that he's going to leave his wife for you. Most of them don't leave their wife for you. But few ones do. Like this man, he left his wife for you. What makes you think that he's not going to cheat on you with another woman and leave you for that woman as well? What is that authority? What is that audacity that you think you have? That you think that you're going to be perfect or you're the perfect person for him? How can you be messing around with a married man that is 6 months in his relationship. A man that is 6 months in a relationship, obviously, he got married just because he just wanted to get married. We don't know what happened, or probably instead they've been dating for 5 years. So maybe he got married to her because they've been together for a long time, or probably just decided to give her a short up ring, and or probably she's the one, begging for the relationship or for the marriage. We don't know, and she didn't say. But they've been together since 2019, so she said they've been together for 5 years. That's already like a marriageable year already, because if you're dating somebody for 5 years, you're practically married, right? So he couldn't turn back. He just have to marry her. Maybe that was what he did. And he already have somebody that he really likes. I was thinking that, okay, when I marry her, I'll still come and be, cheating on her and get away with it. But he realized that there's no how he can get away with that cheating because of the the rules they've set in the relationship, which is sharing location. They share a location, they have joint accounts together, and of course she's going to find out because you guys share location. And the thing is, cheating is all planned. Look at him, said he wanted a day off, dropped his phone at his mom's place, dropped his phone at his mom's place so that she can think that he's at the mom's place, then called her, be like, oh, hope you're having a good time. You will think, oh, my husband is caring, not knowing that he's trying to position where you just know your position so that he can do whatever he wants to do and come back and pick up the phone. If she had not found out, she was not with a friend that was smart, she wouldn't have known anything happened that day. And I'm sure there are other days that she wouldn't know anything was going on. There's something that she was doing. She was fighting for the relationship. She was begging, knowing she clearly know that a man was gone, but she didn't want to believe it because she's afraid, like, we're just together for 6 months. Or we just got married for 6 months. How will everybody see me? Because as I'm saying, people are going to blame her. People are be like, what did you do to this man? This is just 6 months. It's too early for him to, people are going to blame her. I don't know, Sha, but where I'm from, people are going to blame you as a woman that you're the cause. 6 months is way too early for you to just dissolve a relationship. And even your friends that have contributed money, a lot of people that bought gifts for you, bought Ashwebi and everything, you now tell them that you're getting divorced after 6 months. People are not going to be happy. So I feel like that's the thing that she was afraid of, and that's why she kept begging to have her man back, knowing clearly that she cannot have him back. It's not possible, because someone that's already doing something like that and came to tell you that he needs a divorce. Men don't usually say that. And if you're already saying that they're ready to go, let them go. Because no matter how much you want to keep them in, they will start maltreating. In fact, they will start getting physically abusive because you're not letting them to go to where they want to go. So when you get to a situation where a man is already telling you, oh, I want to go, let them go. Like, really, just let them go. Look at now. She said she got promotion at work. She's doing well for herself, even though it was not easy, but she's doing well for herself. And that is it. Just imagine she stayed in that relationship, but she kept begging him. It will keep cheating on her back to back, even with other women that she's not going to know. Then, how will she be by now? You guys, what's your take on this story time? Let me get it down in the comment section. Respectfully, as always, Jagamaya David, and thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this one. Please like and share and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.